So an event occurred in America that is happening all too common, all too often. There was a man who walked into a place, or his former place of employment, and decided to slaughter his coworkers. His name was Dwayne Craddock. He was a municipal worker in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He walked in and murdered 11 people. Now, it has taken me this long to respond, not because he was black, as has been said on my social media page. Is it because I have had this conversation over and over again? I knew he was black by the fact that he got killed. Generally, if they're white, they get apprehended. That isn't the point at all. My point is that all too often in America, we accept the notion that our freedom costs other people's lives. That it is acceptable that because we have a Second Amendment, that somebody else can walk in and have access to weapons they shouldn't have and slaughter people who are just going to work, or going home to pick up milk after work, or going to pick a daughter up from. All those people wanted to do was probably go to a job that they necessarily didn't love and come home. That's it. That's all any of us want to do. It's an amazing calculation that in America we seem to be okay with the fact that this happens so often that honestly you can't tell whether the flags are lowered or half-mast for this event or that one. More than 1 million Americans since the 60s have been slaughtered at the hands of other Americans. And it's funny, race does play a part. Not in the way you think it does, but imagine this. Imagine he had been, or she had been, a Muslim. Would America be this quiet? Is it who we're murdered by that decides how angry we are or how compassionate we are? We are so used to men and women being slaughtered in our streets and boys and girls being slaughtered in our streets, in our schools, in our synagogues, in our churches, that we don't care anymore. That because we'll be silent because we think that it'll tip our hand. We have a gun violence problem in America, and it's one that we're way, way too comfortable with. Now politicians don't even pray anymore. They don't even say things like our thoughts and prayers are with you anymore, because they know that God can't hear America over the sound of gunfire. It is illegitimate. It is disingenuous to pretend like we care anymore. If we did, we would do something about it. And I used to be angry at the politicians, but now that's wrong. They only do what we allow them to do. They only do what's important to us. We are accomplices. The American electorate has decided we'll be quiet while our brothers and sisters are slaughtered in the streets. We'll only get mad if they're from a foreign country or speak a different tongue or have a different religion or worship a different God. It only matters then. But the truth of the matter is those young men and women and boys and girls and sisters and fathers and brothers are dead, and their families will never see them again. And the American electorate has a lot to do with it. Are you really trying to say that an evolved society says it's okay, this is the price of freedom, to watch people being slain in the streets like this, to watch our children not be able to go to school or to a movie or to a mall? They can't go anywhere. It's funny now, we're accustomed to people being slaughtered in our places of worship, the place you go to get away from everything. I used to think that the politicians were cowards. I used to think they were beholden to the gun lobby. I used to think that they weren't brave enough. They wouldn't risk anything. I used to think it was them. It is us. They are a reflection of who we are. If this is happening every day, so often in America that we are numb to it, it is no longer them who we can call the cowards. It is us. It is cowardly to see what is going on in America and refuse to do something about it, when you would if he had a Muslim name. You would if he were a different color. You would if he worshiped a different God. Either we love America and the people who reside here, we love the people that we work with or we worship with or we are entertained with, or we don't. I think in America we have to decide, do we love guns or humanity? And right now, guns are winning. That's a little note from the GED section.